Order. Senator Hume.
Question is to the Minister representing the Minister for the Environment and Energy, Senator Birmingham. Will the Minister please update the Senate on how the National Energy Guarantee will deliver affordable, reliable energy for all Australians, but particularly in my state, the great state of Victoria?
The Minister representing the Minister for the Environment and Energy, Senator Birmingham.
Thanks very much, Mr President. I thank Senator Hume for her question, knowing that Senator Hume, like every single member of the coalition, is driven by a desire to see lower energy prices for Australian households, lower energy prices for Australian businesses. And indeed, that is why it's so important to deliver the reliability, the affordability that the National Energy Guarantee will provide for all Australians, but including those in the great state of Victoria, Senator Hume. Of course, as the Senate is well aware, the National Energy Guarantee has come from recommendations of the Independent Energy Security Board. It's a guarantee that brings together for the first time an integrated approach to energy policy that deals with it in a way that ensures we get the lowest cost outcome for Australian households. And those benefits will be real right across the nation, including in Victoria. It's backed by industry, by business groups, by consumer groups, organisations, companies such as Orara, who have 11 locations across Victoria in places such as Scoresby, Wendouree, Altona and Dandenong, by Ream, located in Moorabbin, by Orica, located in East Melbourne and Deer Park. And it will see Australian households enjoy benefits to the tune of around $550 in terms of their electricity prices. It will see wholesale prices forecast to drop to the tune of around 20%. And what does that mean? Well, that 20% reduction in wholesale prices flows through to mean that Victorian supermarkets would see reductions in price of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Victorian chemical factories or industrial factories or large employers could see savings to the tune of millions of dollars in their energy costs, all of it making more affordable for them to invest, to create more jobs, to create a circumstance where they have the confidence to create a better working environment for all Victorians, just as will happen across every other state of Australia.
Senator Hume, a supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr President, and I thank the Minister for his answer. That is indeed very encouraging. Can the Minister inform the Senate about any recent developments in delivering the National Energy Guarantee?
Senator Birmingham.
Mr President, at the 10th of August COAG Energy Council meeting, the Council noted the very detailed work the Energy Security Board's undertaken on the final design of the guarantee, as well as the final modelling that outlines those extensive savings that will accrue to households, to businesses, and allow them to have confidence in terms of their investment. COAG Energy ministers are now being provided with draft of Commonwealth legislation following its endorsement by the Coalition Party Room, and COAG Energy Council ministers have agreed to the release of the exposure draft of the National Electricity Law amendments that would implement the guarantee following confirmation at the Energy Council teleconference that occurred yesterday on the 14th of August. Ultimately, those amendments will be presented to the Council for final approval before being legislated through the state parliaments. The government's intent is to see this work through cooperatively with all Australian states to get the best possible outcomes for Australian households, businesses and the Australian economy, which are lower energy prices that ensure people can invest and grow jobs with confidence.
Senator Hume, a final supplementary question.
Yes, thank you, Mr President. Can the Minister update the Senate on consultation with the state governments and the implications for businesses and families in Victoria if the Andrews Labor government blocks the National Energy Guarantee?
Senator Birmingham.
Well, Mr President, it's very clear that the Victorian government, indeed all states in the national electricity market, should support the guarantee, that Daniel Andrews should support it because not only of the affordability benefits I've outlined, but also the reliability benefits. The Australian Energy Market Operator has said that Victoria last year faced a 43% chance of load shedding, which is, of course, a euphemism for blackouts. Victoria had, in fact, the second highest prices for electricity in the country. And it's really critical to address those issues of reliability, of affordability, as the NEG does in the state of Victoria. Because the only reason that the Victorian government is playing any type of games in terms of its position on this is because Daniel Andrews and the Labor Party apparently are running scared of the Greens in the lead-up to the Victorian state election. Well, rather than letting the Greens dictate Labor's policy, Labor ought to stand up for the businesses and the households of Victoria. Stand up for lower electricity prices. Stand up for the reliability
Order,
the NEG will
Senator
bring.
Birmingham.
Stand
Time
up
for the
for a
answer
better
has
energy
expired.